partner, friend in crime, Mr. Jerry Franklin Pro. And today we're going to share with you some new updates and some software tools we all know, use, and love. And we're also going to share some cool resources that we found for this week. So we're not going to hold off any longer. We're going to dive into this exciting show right now.
I don't see the show.
Yeah, we're all good, man.
Okay, cool. It's on my end. I don't see the show, so I just want to let you know. Like, I'm not sure if that's something changed. Normally I can, but I want to welcome everybody to another episode of Technology Tuesday. That's right, we are here back every week, Tuesday, Eastern Standard Time at 2 p.m. And Greg, I know we got some new updates. Zoom has made some changes, as they always are. And you wanted to share with some folks some of the new features in there. I think about a month ago, maybe I noticed some changes when you go to share your screen, some new cool features they put in there.
Yes, sir.
But unless you're paying attention, I mean, unless you're like in there every single day, like watching, you may miss stuff. That's the thing. Like every time they make an update, it's not like they send out a major press release all over America, all over the world to let everybody know like what the changes are. So I'm excited to see what you've cooked up and want to share with some folks.
Yes, sir, man. And so before we do, we're going to dive into our segment that I particularly love, and that's our Mindset Minute. And so we are going to dive into that one right now. All right.
All right. So Greg had asked me, like, this week, like, yo, man, I got some stuff to share, but I'm going to make sure we get you back on the schedule with the Mindset Minute. I was like, okay, what can I come up with? And I was sitting in thinking about it. And there's two things that I recently have been pondering. One, so if you haven't checked this out yet, Dune Part 2 has been released. So for those who are sci-fi fans, or even if you're not sci-fi fans, this is just a great movie overall. So I watched the Dune Part 1 all over again to refresh my mind, and then I watched Dune Part 2 to see it, and it was very interesting. And I forgot how much I had. Well, I shouldn't say I forgot. I think I'm watching the first part again. I was like, there's things that I was like, I don't remember seeing this. I missed it. And one of the quotes that stuck out in my mind, I'm gonna pull this up on my screen so I don't misquote it. It was the father, the Duke, was talking to the son, Paul, and he says that great people, they don't seek leadership, that they are called to it. And that kind of stuck out into my mind. It's like some of the best leaders that we have in business, best leaders we have in any area, whether it be sports, medicine, whatever. These are folks that may not have sought out the position or the role to be in leadership, but they were just drawn to it because they saw the void. They saw some type of um, thing they could fix. They saw something that they were passionate about, and they couldn't just sit on the wayside and let it happen. But the challenge, though, when it comes to the call, when it comes to stepping up in leadership, is that when you level up, when you level up to different levels, you want to remember to practice patience. And that reminds me of my second point that I've been pondering. There's a lot of talk right now about the WNBA and the players, these new players that came out of college, this recent class, Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. And there's been a lot of folks who have been talking about how Caitlin Clark was a superstar in college, but now that she's in the WNBA, the results aren't there. And I laugh at this because I'm thinking to myself, like, this, has anyone ever played sports before? Has any of these people who are commentators played sports? Because, like, yeah, when you were in elementary school and you were good, then you get to middle school. Well, you're going against people who are a little bit bigger than you, so you might not be as good right away. And then you get to high school, it's like, well, there have been people who are on varsity before. Like, I was varsity in wrestling my freshman year, and I was going up against people who were seniors. They had already been wrestling varsity for 4 years or 3 years or 2 years. And I was just there my first year. And sometimes because of their experience, they got the best of you. So you see this person, she was one of the top players in college, but now she's going against people who've been the top in the WNBA before she got there. What do we expect? We expect her just to come in and automatically just demolish and put up the same numbers. No, there's always an adjustment period. When you put on a new pair of shoes, what do you got to do? You got to break them in. When you move from one level of leadership to another, when you move from one level in your business to another, you have to remind yourself to be patient with the adjustment process, be
That's
patient
right.
with the adjustment period. And when other people are looking at you and you may not be getting the results that you want right away, that's because that's part of the growth process. And you have to let patience take its perfect work. You have to be okay with the learning curve that comes with every level you go up to. When you move from one peak of a mountain to another, you're at the bottom of that next peak. So the journey begins all over again. You might have made it to the part of one level, but now you got at the bottom of another level.
That's right.
So be patient with the process. Yes, we know that there's greatness inside of all of us, and I hope everyone aspires to that level of greatness. But in order to achieve it at the next level up, you have to be patient along the journey. It's what you learn along the way that makes the most difference. It's not
Yeah.
necessarily the results you get, but the what you learn in the process of getting those results. So be patient with yourself.
Awesome. Awesome. Yo, I agree, man. I think that, being patient along the journey is a part of it because a lot of people are, and rightfully so, they're impatient um in their business and trying to get to that next level. And you know, sometimes people quit too soon. And I just remember that cartoon where was a guy who was digging a tunnel and he was looking for diamonds, and he only had like just one more foot to go, but he quit and he started turning away to say he gave up. And I think that happens a lot. So I think that's a great mindset minute, man. I think we all need to be patient. Um, just make sure we're still moving forward and understanding where you are, and also look at it as a game, right? If it's look at it as a sport. This business thing is a game, and there's rules that you need to play in, and you need to understand, where you are and how to win the game. Sometimes people are playing, but they ain't even figure out how to win the game. They don't have a plan. Um, to take their business to the next level. So thank you for that, sir. I really appreciate it. Great mindset minute. And I'm still learning stuff, man. Started varsity as a freshman. That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah, I mean, but Greg, it's always interesting. Like when a lot of the condemnation people apply on themselves is because they're comparing themselves to other people.
Yeah.
But you don't know what that person's experience was like before they got there.
Right.
Like their journey might have haven't they might have learned some lessons that you didn't learn yet. And that's why you have to be patient with yourself, because there's always, every time you go from one comfort zone to another, there's always an adjustment process.
That's
We
right.
feel like
Yeah.
once we reach a certain pinnacle, that that we get comfortable with that level of success, and it's like, okay, now I want to go up to another level, but there's still some things you got to learn. You got to grow into the next level of leadership.
That's right. That's right. Well, thank you, sir. All right, man. Well, listen, let's dive into some of this stuff we want to talk about today. So just like you had mentioned, man, there have been some updates for Zoom. The latest update is version 6, and there has been what I see is some major updates. And the reason why I want to talk about Zoom is because I believe that Zoom is one of the tools that most everyone has some sort of experience with, but also Zoom is a very deep program. There's so many things in there that we typically take for granted, because we haven't taken the time to actually explore Zoom. Zoom is one of those programs that for anywhere between 12 and $15 a month, you can get a program that can allow you to do all sorts of things. Not only that, even this show right here, this show has recently, the software we use for this is called Ecamm, and it's a Mac platform that allows us to do the broadcasting and change scenes and have all the good stuff like the sound effects, and which makes it pretty cool. But they recently allowed allowed our um to bring in guests via Zoom. And so what one of the things that we've done is we've used that feature now. And so Jerry is actually coming in on Zoom. And what that does is that typically allows Jerry to actually see more of the things that is going on behind the scenes as a guest, and allows us to have more control. One of the things that I was able to do, Jerry, was that, and most people don't know this, but Zoom has um, a HD version where the video is HD for the guest. It's not by default, and you have to actually contact their tech support and ask for your Zoom to be upgraded to HD. So I've done that, and they told me that I could do it, and then it was on. And so now when I bring you in, Jerry, you have that nice, crisp HD look that if you don't ask for this and you have Zoom, you will not get it, right? So you have to ask for it. Um, and you have to have a certain level of Zoom. I don't remember which one it is, but it's definitely not on the free plan. So if you're on if you're on the free plan, you can't upgrade. But if you are on one of the paid plans, then you can ask for them to upgrade to the HD level Zoom. So that means, Jerry, if your Zoom that you have on your computer, even if you're coming in as a guest for me, because you're coming into my platform, you get the HD quality. So we're able to use that with Zoom. So that's just one of the things. One of the things is if you want HD quality, you have to contact their tech support. You can't go into your account, and you can't turn it on manually. You have to ask them to upgrade it to the 1080 high HD version. And then if your account is at a certain level, you can do that. So that's what we did here, and that's just one of the cool things behind the scene. And our platform has actually brought Zoom inside of its own platform, so we're able to use Zoom inside of Ecamm, which is pretty cool. All right, so they have these updates, and I'm going to share my screen right quick, see if we can do this successfully. I know we did it earlier when we were testing. And so for me, if I share my desktop, boom. All right, so we can minimize this. And so now we have the Zoom window. I'm sure, are you seeing it now or no? Desktop? You still not
Nope.
seeing it? Okay. All right. Well, we will. I'm seeing it, and I know we're good. So we're gonna just roll
Yeah.
with it.
Push forward.
Um, yeah, so this is the Zoom platform, and the one thing I noticed is that like this end button changed. It definitely changed. I noticed some of the other buttons changed. This more button will allow you to go into some of the other things. And even though this is Zoom, this is not the full version of Zoom because it's inside of Ecamm, but I'm still able to share with you and show you some of these cool features. So one of the things on my Zoom is I have apps, which is not here because again they're bringing it in. But on my version, I have apps. But on this version, one of the things I noticed was like when I go to share, I now have a feature where by default this is what it is, and this is going to be kind of small on the screen. Let's see if we can make it bigger. There we go. So I'm going to show you where I am. This window right here. Can I move this one? Yeah, we're going to move this one down so everyone can see. So this window right here, when you hit the share button, this pops up, and this allows you to choose what you want to share when you're going to share your desktop. Most people will share a desktop, or they will share just a window, and they will share it, then everybody can see what they're sharing. On the right-hand side of this window, they have some new options. They have some options where you can be on top of the desktop. So if I click this here, you'll see me right here on the desktop. So if I expand this, this is what now the share screen looks like if I'm going to share myself on top. So I'm on top of the desktop and I can move myself around. And you see this blue box, that is where the window is where it stops. So if I reach my arm outside of it, you see my arm gets cut off. So you want to make sure you stay in frame, but it's pretty cool to be on top of the desktop if you want to do this type of sharing where you're on the actual desktop. You can also then control the size, so you can make it smaller or bigger while you're sharing on the desktop. And so this is this button over here, and this is one way you can do it. You can click over here and now you're separate, and you can also choose a wallpaper to be the background um, of everything instead of just the plain black. And so it is spinning, and that means it is processing, trying to do that background. And we are using all of the computer's resources to do this because we're sharing on Ecamm, we got Zoom, and now we're actually processing to put this in the background. And then I'm sharing my screen with you on top of that. So normally the background would just pop in here, so you could expect to see whatever background you want. These are the features. You can also do it like this, where you have the two windows side by side if you wanted to do it that way. And then you can also, again, control these windows. So these are the new features for sharing that you can use as well. So I wanted to make sure you guys knew that. I particularly like this one where you can be on top of the desktop if you want to. All right, so I'm going to put this back to normal, and I'm going to share with you one other thing that I want to make sure everyone is aware of when you're sharing the share screen here. You have the option, you have the option to click on the share the sound and to optimize for video clip. So if you're going to play a video clip on your screen and you want everyone to hear it, you will need to check these two boxes. And share sound means they're going to hear the sound of the video, and they will it will optimize for the video clip, so the video clip won't be glitchy. It'll be smooth playing throughout. So if you're going to share video on a Zoom, you want to make sure you check these two boxes. If you forget and people say, hey, we can't hear, or it's not smooth, you can stop the share, start the share again, and then click these two boxes before you share your desktop or anything else. And so those are some of the really cool features that you can do for sharing. And there's some others that I want to share too. Jerry, I know you can't see, so just let me walk through this. The other cool thing is on the share screens, you can share other than the screens. By default, this one is the one that shows up, and it allows you to choose which thing you want to share, but you could also share documents. And it has this whiteboard feature, and they have this one called Advanced, which is pretty cool. So if you wanted to share just a video file without sharing your screen, you can select it here. This other cool thing is you can share slides as a background, and you can do the same thing. Remember these over here. You can be on top of that video. You can be on top of the slides if you want to, right? By clicking over here, these options over here. The same thing for the desktop is the same thing over here. And you also have the ability to connect your phone or iPad via AirPlay, or phone or iPad via cable. So if you want to share something from your phone or mobile device, you have the option. You just have to remember it's in the advanced, which is you have to click on this advanced tab at the top versus the screens where it starts. And so those are some of the really cool things you can do when you're sharing with this new Zoom feature, right? And so if you don't have it, then what you need to do is when you open Zoom, you just need to go to your file and updates and see if you can update to the latest version of Zoom. So, Jerry, those are some of the cool updates we have. Some of the just a few features that I noticed updates for Zoom.
Yeah, man. I was excited when I saw the new updates. Like as you said, like every once in a while, Zoom will automatically update. But if you don't have that automatic update, you can always manually do it. How they were adding new stuff. There was because some of these things that people weren't able to do unless they had like other programs like Ecamm or what's the other one? OBS. So now you can actually change the way you share your screen, which was pretty cool. I liked it.
Yep. Yep. Let's see if we can stop that. Okay, cool. So we stopped that. So listen, one of the things that has an integration with Zoom is a device we talked about before. It's a device we actually use here on the show, and that's our Stream Deck, right? And so Stream Deck allows us to have these buttons. We can press buttons to change screens, change scenes, mute stuff, but they also have a way to integrate with Zoom. So I'm going to share this device. It is called Stream Deck. It's at elgato.com, and you can go check it out. And what I like about it is, Jerry, one of the things it does is has, when you try to end a Zoom meeting, sometimes there's an awkward extra time because the person has to click in and then they say, do you want to end the meeting for all, or do you want to leave the meeting? Right. And so then it takes extra time. And so even though you said bye and, good evening or whatever it is that you're ending the meeting, you still have those few seconds of the person's trying to find it. And if they're not familiar with Zoom, it takes even longer because they're trying to figure out how to end the meeting. Well, one of the things, it has these buttons that you can connect to. It has these pre-configured buttons that can connect to Zoom, and then one of them is in the meeting. And I think, matter of fact, I know I can share with you some of the configurations. Sure can. Boom. So this is the controls. And so over here, they have eCams for Zoom. So you can start a new meeting. You can program these buttons to be any of the buttons you want. Mute, unmute, show, hide panel, full screen, pause recording, start, stop recording, etc. And you have all these buttons. And one of the default ones that I don't see here is in meeting. And I know I saw it here before, but again, this just updated too, and you can always program it in here. But you see this, oh, this is eCam for Zoom. There is just a plain Zoom one, which that has that in meeting when it's just Zoom. So Zoom features Stream Deck is something we talked about. It's a great little device. It's made for the streaming community, but it connects with so many other things on your computer that you use every day. It can definitely be a way to help increase productivity by being able to program certain buttons to make things happen faster. So highly recommend Stream Deck by Elgato.
Awesome.
Yeah, man.
It's
Do you
pretty
got?
cool. Now they have some preset buttons.
Say that again?
And it's pretty cool. They got buttons that are preset for the software that people are using.
Yeah. Lots of preset buttons in there for a lot of different software. Um, if you use your computer, there is buttons you can program on there for everything from Word to presentations. It's just a great device that there's so many things you can pre-program to make things faster by just hitting a button and not have to go to the mouse and click on the programs and go open it and all that stuff. Just even opening programs, you can have it set where your morning thing where you're going to check email, you're going to do this, you just hit a button and you can program that button to go through a series of things that it's going to open up on your screen, etc. So highly check out the Stream Deck by Elgato.
And that connects to your computer through a USB, right?
That is correct. Connects to your computer through a USB. All right, cool. Well, listen, man, I know we got just a couple of resources that we wanted to share. And Jerry, I know you were looking at this one, so I'm going to let you tell everyone about Slick.
That's one we reviewed about 2 weeks ago, right, on the show.
Yes, we did. But I know you were talking about it. You had mentioned it, and so I wanted to share it again. So Slick is something we talked about a couple weeks ago. It is a program that allows you to take a long form video and make short clips for Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook.
Yeah, well, the reason why I brought it up wasn't because of Slick, it was because of the new changes to the Plus membership. So we've talked about Plus membership before. And again, we're not getting paid by AppSumo. We're just AppSumo users. And now if AppSumo gets a clip of this video and would like to put us on a sponsorship, hey, I'm all for that 100%. Call us. But as a Plus member, one of the changes I noticed recently is they were giving you a credit every quarter. So they're giving like $25. Well, the membership for those who aren't a member of AppSumo Plus, it's $99 per year to be a member, and that gives you like the option of when, like, some, they say something expires, like you get a couple extra days if you miss something because the deal closes. You get like sometimes 3 extra days after the deal already closed to come back and still get it. It gives you 10% off of everything that you acquire through AppSumo. But recently, one of the changes that they made, outside of the 10%, outside of those extra days, outside of some of the software they give you for free, they give you like if you need a calendar for scheduling appointments, they do one of those like what's it, mini sites, Greg, right, that people use for like Instagram. You have like all your links together. They give you one of those for free. But they had this $25 quarter thing. So if you get $25 a quarter, it's 4 quarters in a year, it's $100. So the membership like is paying for itself. Now, I'm not sure how long they're going to continue to do that. But I know for this year, I'm going to maximize every $25. If you get $25 a quarter, it's 4 quarters in a year to do something. So the couple things we had talked about recently, which was Slick and Some Player, just the basic deals. I think Slum Player was like $59, so you could take $25 off of that plus the 10%. And then Slick was like 39 or something like
39,
that, $39
39.
for the
Yep.
basic, right? You get the basic level, which was 25 videos a month or whatever. So uh I was just looking at what could I apply this credit to. Now the challenge with AppSumo is like there's always stuff on there that it looks good, but you may not necessarily need it. But with the $25, it's willing to give something a test. Like, hey, I'm gonna just test this out, see if I like it. This could be a winner that I'm sleeping on. So if you're on the fence on something, you have that extra bonus. Yeah. So there's some couple things we were talking about recently. I was like, hey, this $25 coupon. It's not like I can take the $25 and go someplace else. Like I'm not gonna be able to go to another store. I can only use it on their site. So before it expires, because mine expires in a couple weeks before the that $25 expires, just to use it on something we've talked about recently that we recommended to everybody.
Yes, and one of the other things, the what they call plus perks, is the protection advantage, right? So you can shop with
Yep.
confidence, get a 12-month full refund guarantee in the event of a select product closure. So you have more protection for your purchases when you're a plus member. Highly recommend. Listen, if you use this for a couple of apps per year, it's definitely worth being a plus member. So that's my take on it. And I think the $25 just makes it a no brainer because now it technically doesn't cost you $100 a month as long as you use the coupons. Which again, there's usually a lot of times many products and services that you may not be aware of that you may learn about here on Technology Tuesday that you could get, and now you can get some extra protection and $25 every quarter, which would add up to that $100, which would make the Plus a free program for you. So, highly recommend you guys check out the Plus membership from AppSumo.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, over the years, there are things that I've found on AppSumo that have saved me from having to pay a monthly subscription. Like I know everybody is loving, and I'm not against Canva, but I don't have to pay a monthly fee for Canva, the Canva Pro, because I was able to get a graphics designer software off of AppSumo that was basically the same as Canva that I could
Yep.
use,
Yep.
and that saves me from having to pay every year. So I made one investment. So there's always something on there that we see. And just like everybody right now is using, what was it, Opus Pro.
Opus Pro. Yeah.
So Slick is another version of that. So if you're paying, per year for Opus Pro, I think it's like buck 30 or whatever per year for the annual subscription. There's just alternatives. So again, we're not against any of these other softwares that people are out there using. It's just like, hey, if you can find an alternative that kind of produces the same results and it's a lifetime deal, it's just one of those things that helps save you an expense in your business.
Yes, sir. And it's funny you mentioned Canva because they just had an update too. They offered special upgrade for their first 1 million people to click on their thing, and so yeah, that's another one that had an upgrade. There's a lot of upgrades happening. I guess this quarter, but Zoom is definitely one that most people have experience with, and it's one that if you take the time to learn some of the features in there, it's such a powerful program. Not only for just meetings, but for running actual webinars and actual virtual events because you can separate people in rooms. It's another feature that you can split people up into different rooms. It's a very powerful program. Just highly recommend people take the time to get in there and learn how to use it. So with that, I want to thank you guys for joining us today, for tuning in to Technology Tuesday. Make sure you tune in next week. And if you would like to join our group, head over to technologytuesday.com where you can join Jerry and I, and we have special training over there for just our group members. So thank you for tuning in. Jerry, any last words?
I'm good, man. You want to close it out this week?
Sure. Listen, thank you guys for tuning in. make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. That really helps us out. And share this with someone. If you know someone who could benefit, an entrepreneur, a business person, friend, family member who can benefit from learning about the technology and tools that we share, then make sure you share this with them, share this video with them. And if you would like to know more, then join us at technologytuesday.com. Until then, we'll talk to you guys next week. Take care.